Hello, how are you? I miss y'all. It'd be nice to hang out in person, throw a frisbee, go get some ice cream, but we're gonna have to wait until we have the opportunity to do that. Thank you for being here. We have to go through, we're gonna do Isaiah 42. Last time we were together, you middle schoolers and high schoolers, in last week's video, we did Isaiah 40. Which is a shifting chapter because the book of Isaiah kind of shifts to being this prophetic poetry in those chapters. And I think I said to you last time that the Israelites were being sent into exile, but that poetry was helping them to reinterpret that event not as an exile but as an exodus. Well, this time I would like to read to you just the few opening verses of chapter 42. And I would really encourage, this is going to be from the NIV this time. If you have the opportunity and you've got a different Bible at home, pull out Isaiah 42 and see how it words it a little differently, okay? What I'm going to do, like I said, is read the opening chapters. I have a quote from this fat book on Isaiah that I've been using to help us through our journey through Isaiah, which I gotta say, the Old Testament has been fascinating. I mean, some of you were a part of youth group and like the middle school or high school group when we did, Leviticus, right? And then we did Job, and now we're doing Isaiah. And I just ordered for myself a commentary on Ecclesiastes because I think I might be an Old Testament junkie. I kind of love this wisdom literature and the prophets of the Old Testament. They're just brilliant. But if you have a different Bible, a different translation, feel free to go grab it. Okay, pause this video. I'll wait. Now, how many of you just watched that without pausing? Okay, so I'm going to open it up. I'm going to read through it, just make a few comments, read to you a quote from this commentary, and then I really do hope that you comment on this video, or at least send me a text if you got my number, all right? Let me know what you think, because we read the scriptures in order to be inspired by them, and I mean inspired quite seriously. It means to be breathed into. We need to read these passages so that they can breathe into us, almost so that they can do something similar to CPR, you know? So let's do this. I'm actually having a lot of fun today. It's been a good day. Been crafting a lot of stuff. Here we go. Isaiah chapter 42. Now, I'm only going to read the first 9 verses. But what you need to know is that this is the first of the servant songs. I mentioned that in Isaiah it shifts back and forth between poetry, and there's a number of songs that are called the servant songs. And there's something really fascinating that happens with them. And it's that in the Old Testament, it's not exactly clear who the servant is. And in fact, this is the first of the servant songs in Isaiah. And you could see it as though the servant is Israel, but maybe not. So let's read it, all right? This is chapter 42, verses 1 through 9. Here is my servant, whom I uphold, my chosen one, in whom I delight. I will put my spirit on him, and he will bring justice to the nations. He will not shout or cry out or raise his voice in the streets. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not snuff out. In faithfulness he will bring forth justice. He will not falter or be discouraged till he establishes justice on earth. In his teaching the islands will put their hope. This is what God the Lord says, the creator of the heavens, who stretches them out, who spreads out the earth and all that springs from it, who gives breath to its people, inspire, and life to those who walk on it. I, the Lord, have called you in righteousness. I will take hold of your hand, I will keep you, and I will make you to be a covenant for the people and a light for the Gentiles, to open eyes that are blind, to free captives from prison, and to release from the dungeon those who sit in darkness. That's a beautiful line. I am the Lord, that is my name. I will not yield my glory to another or my praise to idols. See, the former things have taken place, and new things I declare. Before they spring into being, I announce them to you. So this is God telling Israel what's going to happen. But here's the question, though. Who's the servant? Because it kind of fluctuates. It's like it could be about Israel, especially Israel becoming a covenant. What was that? For the people and a light for the Gentiles. I already told you, Isaiah's got this broadening perspective that the covenant is happening to Israel and they're being disobedient, and so they get punished. But then so do some of the neighboring countries as well. They get punished as well, because actually God's plan is actually ever widening, and it's going to include a whole bunch of others. And right there is the proof. I will keep you and make you to be a covenant for the people and a light for the Gentiles. The Israelites are supposed to be lights to the Gentiles. But there's another angle. Because when we get to the New Testament, when we get to especially the book of Matthew, this same passage is sometimes used in Christmas services or around the time of Advent. You ready? So let's flip over to this fat book. I even highlighted it right there for you. It says, in the New Testament, Matthew's Gospel, chapter 12, verses 17 and 21, offers an extended citation of 42, 1 through 4. So this passage, with some slight abbreviations. Matthew's application of Isaiah presents a classic example of the New Testament's Christological interpretation of the Old Testament. That means reading the Old Testament through the lifetime or perspective of Jesus. Jesus's healing activity is characterized as fulfilling Isaiah's prophecy here. The Messiah fulfills the office of the servant in caring for the weak and fragile. So in this passage, we've got something very, very profound. The Israelites are supposed to be a healing balm to the nations. And then when we come to Jesus in the New Testament, we see that he is fulfilling Israel's task in his very life, in his very ministry. And there's a lot of parallels. And as we go through Isaiah, we're going to be looking at a few of these servant songs and how do they apply to Jesus and his ministry. Well, it's going to be fascinating because Jesus' ministry is our ministry. And if we have the opportunity to, quote, not break a bruised reed, that means when somebody's been hurt and down, you don't kick them while they're down, you know? Don't snuff out a candle. You don't want to extinguish someone else's hope. And so what is Jesus's ministry? We find out, well, that was the plan all along with the Israelites. And so in some ways, Jesus is like fulfilling the task and the role of Israel. And we're invited to do it also. We're supposed to be co-redeemers with God, just following his lead. So, as you are able, feel free, go back and reread verses 1 through 9. And I don't know if there's a song about this passage. I bet there is. It's a servant song. But this is the first of a few of them that we'll be looking at. Okay? And if you're able, go ahead and comment on this video. Yeah, seriously. And then I'll see if I can reply back as well. Because the scriptures are meant to be engaged with. We're not supposed to just sit there passively and just listen to them. We're supposed to engage them, and we're supposed to debate them and be inspired by them. So once again, you are delightful, just wonderful. And I hope you're staying safe, and I hope that you're being well, and I hope that you are making the best of this current situation. And much love to all of you. May grace and peace be with you. Bye, friends.